system of being in captivity should be over now. People should be getting free. He should be released. So when you go on and read chapter 9, he's in prayer. Chapter 9, verse 20 to 23, it says, while I was speaking and praying, confessing my sin and the sin of my people, Israel, and making my request for the Lord my God for his holy. While I was still in prayer, Gabriel, the man I had seen in the earlier vision, came to me in swift flight about the time of the evening sacrifice. Who is Gabriel? The promised support. The support God sent, the angel who he commands our angel to come so that we can be protected. But Gabriel had brought the message to Daniel. But when you read before that, in the same chapter, it tells you that actually from the first day, Gabriel was sent, but along the way he encountered resistance from the spirit of the prince of Persia, and God had again to send angel Michael to fight the prince of Persia, so that Gabriel can deliver the message. And that is the support. One angel is sent with a message, is held up, another one is sent to fight. That is God's support system. And the Bible is full of how God has set his support system for us. In the same book of Daniel, when you read, you know the story about Meshach, Abednego, and Shadrach, when they were thrown into the furnace, and then a fourth man was sitting there, and King Nebuchadnezzar is wondering, who is that fourth person? It looks like an angel. It looks like God himself. That is how God supports us in all circumstances when we call upon him. We also know the story of Peter in prison, when he had been thrown in prison, and the king was planning on also beheading him the next day. It says the church prayed earnestly unto God, and God sent his angel that broke Peter out of prison. God at his best with his support system for us. So what does that mean for us? Why should we have a support system? Remember, the topic is family support system, identification, and sourcing. Before we can go on to how do we identify it and how do we source for it, why should we have it? Number one, we need practical support. As members of family, remember the family is the smallest unit of any society. Any social construct is based on the family. So when you don't have support for the family, when the family is in distress, when the family is in disarray, it means that the society is in a problem. And of course, when we talk about the society, we cannot talk about family, we talk about the society. We are not without talking about church. Here we are talking, society can be the church that we are. It can be anything. It can be anything. So we are talking about the smallest unit that forms the church, and it needs practical support. This practical support can be provided to help with tasks such as, for example, child care. You are a young mother, but you are the same way career mother at the same time. You need support for child care. It could be you have children going to school. Where they are going to school, they go to school in Kamocha, and your job location is Beyogerere. You need school drop-offs, you need school pickups, transportation will be required. So that practical support is required. You need some to run errands. You're there. They have sent you things from the village. They're on the bus. You need someone to pick them from the bus park. You need someone to run that errand. So practical support is always required at a family level. Emotional support is also something that we require as a family or as individuals in the family. So family support system can offer sympathy, understanding, and encouragement during tough times. Here it helps individuals within the family or the family at large, depending on the nature of the challenge or the problem at hand, to feel less isolated and feel more connected. Imagine you've lost a loved one, and all of you as a family, you're grieving. but the people who come around you to be with you, they offer you that emotional support. Imagine you have lost a job. You have friends who are comforting you, telling you, no, don't worry, you'll get another one. You have prayer partners who are praying with you for a better one. That is emotional support and spiritual support at the same time that comes along the way. So when we have these practical emotional support, it can go a long way to elevate stress and make it easier for you to manage your daily responsibilities. Imagine that time I was telling you when I had moved away and my wife was in the theater. They are sending me a message. The baby has been, yes, is been delivered, but your wife is not okay. Imagine the kind of situation I was in. It took only the the support of friends and family for me to stay where I was without um, breaking down to medical attention levels. I stayed strong because I had this support back home. Family support system helps us to provide guidance and advice. You can get valuable insights, advice, and different perspectives to help individuals make better decisions, or even a family to make better decisions and navigate through complex situations. Imagine as a family, you want to make an investment. Uh, you would want to inquire and understand the kind of investment you want to get into from the people who are knowledgeable and have experience in it. You want to make a school choice for your child for university or whatever level it is. You do want to inquire from people who either know the school or the kind of subject or discipline your child is partaking, so that you can be advised on which one would be the best school. It could be a career path. It could be medical referral. These days we get so many illnesses, cancers, all sorts of diseases, and we always want to look for the best doctors or for the best hospitals. And when we have family support systems around us, remember we've said in there, they are people, they are professionals, they help us to be guided to make the right choices. So it offers us guidance and advice. It helps us to build resilience. So knowing that one has a support system around them, it increases the resilience in the face of adversity. Okay? As individuals, we are more likely to bounce back from setbacks when we have a strong network around us. Um, I've shared this example or call it a testimony before on this same platform of ours. During COVID, St. Luke's, I belong to St. Luke's Church of Uganda, and we have the Cell Fellowship uh, network. And now specifically, there is this cell in Kisasi. Uh, during the COVID time, used fellowship remotely. Then when there was lifting of this and the other, and I say you can move, you can meet not more than many people. So we started now fellowshipping back again in our homes. So there was this one member of the fellowship who was the phone was off, she was off WhatsApp, she's not physically seen. 3 fellowships passed, 1 month gone, no one knows what is happening. So one member is like, but we need to look out for this member of the fellowship. We no longer see her. What do we do? So they agreed that the next fellowship, they should go and have it at her place. Good enough, someone knew her where she stayed. And that's what they did. When they were going, they bought a few things she can use at home, and they went to visit her. Guess what? They went, found her home. She was locking herself in the house, had switched off the phone. Reason, when the COVID started, she was laid off. Most people lost jobs. She couldn't move. She was grounded. She felt that like the world had turned upside down. But after that meeting, after that fellowship, after that visit, you can't believe she confessed that in her lifetime, it was the very first time people ever visited her and moreover brought her gifts. That was number one. Number two, in the whole of COVID, no one had ever cared to look for her. But because the fellowship took it upon itself to look for her, it encouraged her, and within 1 month, she had gotten her phones back on. She had started the job search, and she got a job within 1 month. That is how we build resilience through support systems. Again, family support systems help us improve mental health. Um, it has been through research has been found that better mental health outcomes are likely to be experienced when we have strong support systems around us. And because the stress levels tend to lower, anxiety tends to lower, and depression because of the support we have around us. Back to my example, assuming I did not have people around me, friends, family to come in at the time that my wife was in the theater. I'm not there. She needed blood transfusion. There was no blood in in the hospital. She needed care. She needed medicine, expensive medicines to go and look for. They are not in every pharmacy. If we didn't have that support system around us, how would we have managed? By the way, my wife is on call. I'm proud of her very much. She pulled through that time, and we give glory to God. Um, Continuing, why should we have family support system? It helps us also. It's not only about negatives. It helps us when we are celebrating successes. In Uganda, you know now, there is a comedian called Uncle Mo. He says that Ugandans take everything that makes them gather seriously. Whenever there is an opportunity to gather, they don't take it for granted. And you've seen people gather to celebrate achievements and milestones uh, with fellow individuals or other families. For example, at graduations, birthdays, baptisms, someone gets a new job, marriages. Uh, so you find that they provide they provide validation and a reinforcement of the effort made by a given family. So it keeps encouraging them that yes, we are on the right track. I've seen, for example, at church, St. Luke's, we are a family. We have that song, we are a family, bonded and growing together. We are a family. And every time we have a member, for example, who is wedding together as a family, we stand with them, we contribute. Why? Because he's a member of the family, and we are saying, thank you for doing what you're doing. We are encouraging you, go ahead and go for it. We've seen people graduating. They invite us for their wedding, for their graduation. So having a family support system really helps us celebrating and also encouraging us to go for bigger things in the future. Uh, when we have family support systems where we have different people, where it gives us a chance to benchmark. So we transfer best practices to our homes, to our way of living. It could be our feeding habits, could be our health, it could be anything that we were not doing before, and now we think you could be someone you've been a Christian, but you find someone takes prayer time as a family or altar, or their family altar is taken serious, and you copy it and take it back home. So it helps us to nurture us through benchmarking by transferring best practices. So overall, a support system plays a crucial role in promoting the well-being, the resilience, and growth of a family. Okay, it can provide a safety net during the challenging times and enhance the overall quality of the family life. It cultivates and maintains strong. So we need to cultivate and maintain strong support systems as an important aspect of growth, of care, and general health, good health management. And that's why we need family support systems around us. Now, how do we? What are the key things we should take into consideration for us to benefit from the family support systems? We must keep connected to the system. Think of a body. A body is a system. But if if the head was detached from the hands, detached from the legs, detached from the belly, how would it work like? the body. Remember, a system is a connection of different parts that must work together for the common good. Okay? So you as a given family or even a given individual, you must stay connected to the system. Is it a fellowship, a self fellowship? We must stay connected. You don't appear in January, appear and then appear again in December, and you think you're connected. With WhatsApp now we have different groups that connect us as families, neighborhood watch. You find it is the hobbies of a certain group and their families. You find it is, for example, St. Luke's, we have the marriage fellowship, it is another family of its own. So you stay connected to a system for you to get the benefits of that system, to be supported through that system. Number two, must know the exact support when you need it. For example, when the body, when you're about to yawn, the yawning takes place through the mouth. Now, you're advised to touch your mouth when you're yawning, but imagine you're about to yawn and then you put your hands on the head. It means you're not coordinated. So you need support, but you're running to the wrong place. So you must know the exact support you need, and you must initiate the request of the support you need. Don't assume that people around me know. Don't assume that people, they saw me last week that my car was parked the whole week in the compound, so my neighbor should know that I need lift. My neighbor should know that when he gets to their school first, and that's where my children also go, he should pick my children. Since I've not greeted him this morning, he knows I'm not there. No, do not assume. Be specific and request for that support from the source. And now, going on to the identification and sourcing. The sourcing, the identification starts with the need at hand. Each one of us, like David was saying at the beginning, no man is an island. We need one another. There is this street saying, economy tabuse. It's not even only about economy. Even in the good times, you need one another. You need to celebrate, you need one another. You don't know when you lose a loved one, you need other people. You don't know when. So at some point, you'll have a need, whether positive or negative. It could be of a legal nature, it could be of a parental nature, it could be a business issue, it could be a spiritual matter, it could be a medical matter, it could be marital. At least at one time, at every one time, you have a need. 2 months ago, I lost my grandmother, who was 104 years. I had to fly from here, from Zambia to Uganda. Right from the airport, I found someone waiting for me, dropped me in the morning, picked me, was joined by other people, went together for the burial. I did not use a single coin. I did not hire a single car to make all these movements. My support system that we have always coordinated through did all these things for us, for me, and for my family. And they were there for all the days I was there. Even the dropping me back at the airport, they did it for me. And that is what the support system does. So everyone needs the other. So for you to identify, it starts from anticipation. If you're a parent, at one time, at least you need something to do with your child. Even if your child is 1 year, at some point they will be going to school, and you need to inquire about schools. Do you have someone within your system who can advise you on schools? Do you have someone who can advise on medical situations concerning children? If you have parents that are aging, do you have someone who can advise you on aging, on how to take care of aging parents in your system? Do you have someone who can guide you, or who knows about the current trends and how to go about them in parenting of teenagers and the like? In the current system where you have so many churches mushrooming, do you have someone you can share with and guide you in case you're planning of shifting to another place and you may no longer be attending the same church? You have people to guide you on these matters. That is what identification. That's where identification starts from. So check the skill set or composition within your network. Can I ask, can I easily get assistance for these things? When there's something I did not mention, when you have a system around you, when you have a family support system around you, there are so many things you save. You save costs first and foremost. There is advice you would have needed, for example, legal advice, you would have to pay for very highly. You need to pay consultation fees. But when you're within a system and there is a member within the system, they offer for you this advice free of charge. If you've never visited the doctor, a lawyer you may not understand, but at least we've all visited a doctor. When you get into a clinic, the first thing they say, consultation, and you must pay consultation fees, whether they are going to find you sick or not, you must pay consultation. Now imagine you have a medical personnel in your circles and you tell them how you're feeling. They say, no, do this and this and the other. You don't need to go to the clinic or to the hospital. You have saved money, you have saved time. So please check the skill set composition within your network. Number two, get the contacts and share with your immediate family members. These things of you belong to a group, you go talk to them, you chat, you at church, you catch up with the doctor so and so, marriage counselor David, you just hi, hey, hi, how are you? Don't have his contact. Get people's contacts intentionally and keep them. And when you get them, don't leave them only in your phone. Share them with your immediate family member. If you're a man, share with your wife. If you're a woman, share with your husband. And some of them may need to share with your children. If you have grown-ups, you may need to share with your brothers and sisters. May need to share with some of these with immediate neighbors, people who are close to you. And I will explain why. And then when you're saving these numbers, save them appropriately. Yeah. What do I mean? If it is someone who helps you with transport or border, save Fara or border. If it is Narongo or Wetoke, put it as Narongo Wetoke. Don't put just Narongo. You put Fara, you put just Bob, you put David. Put appropriate. Why? Some of these people, you need them in emergency. And at that point, you may not even be the one looking for them. You could be asking someone to check your phone to get these numbers. So when you have put appropriate description to them, it helps you to retrieve the contacts in the near future when you need them. If it is a lawyer, say Narongo lawyer. If it is a counselor, put that. If it is a doctor, put it clearly, so that you avoid last minute panics and contacting the wrong people for the right reasons, or the wrong people for the wrong reasons. So, and keep updating your contacts regularly. Why? People change. Every time I come back to Uganda and I get my Ugandan line back on, it doesn't take more than 48 hours before I get a call. I once worked with Maltrace Uganda, and you get someone calling you complaining about their decoder or asking something about their DSTV, and you're like, oh, sorry, I left a long time ago. Call this number. Meaning that that is the only number they have. They have been calling. Sometimes they complain, where number your TV la call. Then by the time you explain to him, they have spoken so many things. Now, if you're the one on the other end, you feel ashamed. So always update your contacts regularly for these supports. Then they must have contacts. These are contacts you must never fail to have. Your immediate neighbors. Your immediate neighbors always have their contacts. Proverbs 3:29 tells us, do not plan evil against your neighbors. You should always be on good terms with your neighbors. If they are bad people, make sure that you neutralize that. They may not be your friends, but at least make sure they are not your enemies. And always have their contacts. Why? We have friends, but not always our friends and our neighbors. And in terms of in cases of emergency, the first person to need is your neighbor. Not by the time if you're being attacked by thieves, it's already finished. There's someone who shared here on Church of on this very platform, actually, Family Life Hour, where the neighbor was making. They felt they thought they had been attacked, so they called him. They were his immediate neighbors, and he rushed in, got through the back door. Only to find the man was under the bed. The woman was almost getting into the ceiling, but why? Kumbe, it was only the rat trying to eat onto the cupboard, and they thought it was a thief trying to break into the house. Now imagine they didn't have his number as the neighbor. It would have been a different story. Thank God it was not a thief at least. The next people the other contacts you should have, LC1 chairman or secretary or someone in the local council leadership. You need to have their contacts because sometimes you don't know when you need them. Sometimes you get abrupt things. For example, you want to travel and you want Interpol letters. The number one requirement for Interpol to get an Interpol letter is your LC1 chairman letter. Now, if you don't know them, if you've never been touched, it becomes tedious to get these guys. No, they work also. They wake up early, they go, they come back very late. They tell you, yeah, you will see us on Sunday afternoon, and yet you need to start processing these things very fast. So you need to have their contacts. Call them and tell them what you need so that they can prepare it even when they have not seen you. You can still get them. You need to have a contact of your nearest police station so that in case of a problem, you have security to call on to. You need to have a contact of a medical personnel whom you can call and say, it is at 03 and my child has temperature, is vomiting this and the other. I can't access a hospital. Give me first aid tips. What do I do? You need to have that person. You need to have, besides, of course, the nearest police station, you also need to have the emergency numbers, like for the police. You need to have emergency numbers for your telecom service provider. If it is Airtel, MTN, you need to have emergency numbers for your banker, Absa, Stanbic, whichever bank it is. You need to have emergency numbers for Umeme. You need to have emergency numbers for your pay TV service provider. Is it DSTV? Is it GoTV? Is it StarTimes? Whatever it is. You need to have. Why would you have this? For example, you're there, you get a trigger that that your account is being updated in the bank. You need to call immediately, say there is something about there is fraud happening with my account. Can you please block any activity happening right now? But if you don't have these contacts, you get challenges. If it is a telecom, someone is trying to get money out of your account, or for some reason there's something you need to inquire. You need to have. Don't only rely on individuals who work in these companies, but also have their emergency customer helplines. You need to have that transporter. Uganda is blessed with many options. You have Uber, you have Safe Border, you have Safe Car, you have Bolt, there are many options. You need to have that one transporter. You wake up early in the morning, you have a meeting, a crucial meeting, you find you have 2 flat tires. Your car has 2 flat tires. What do you do next? Or your children have to go to school, and you find you don't even have a spare tire. If you have maximum, you have 1 spare tire, but you have 2 flat tires. What do? You need to have someone you can call on to say, border guy or Uber or whatever it is, come and pick me now. You need to have contacts for your teacher, for your children's teachers. Okay? So that at all times you're in touch with them. And the school administration, you need to have a contact for that gate man. Even if you're in an estate, that security guard you pass by at the officer at the gate, sometimes you don't greet. You need to have their contact. You don't know when your house is on fire and you're not there, and whom you need to ask for assistance. Your child could have stayed home and they locked themselves inside, and all the other neighbors you know of are not home, and the only person to help you is the security guard. Then you need to be available to others for support. Don't only be on the receiving end. You need also to be on the giving end, so that it is give and take. There is no one who is always going to be giving you, and for them they will never need. At some point in time, they will look for you. And like I want to emphasize of keep connected. There are people who only look for others when they are in. So Bob is in need, he will look for you. When he's not in need, there is nothing. Someone told me, no, if I don't call you, you know that everything is well, is okay. But when you see my call, you know that is something special or something is bad. So don't wait for the bad moments. Keep in touch. You create goodwill for people to come to your rescue when you need them. You create goodwill for people to celebrate with you when you have something to celebrate about. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what I had for today. Uh, and thank you for listening. I hand over back to you, David.
Uncle Bob, thank you so much. Wow. That was wonderful. I liked the last bit where you are giving the real practical examples. Do we have the numbers of the LC chairman? Trouble if people were to put up their hands. Do you have the numbers of the border guy, the gate man, the children, our children's teachers? Or do we wait for emergencies and realize we don't have them? Uncle Bob, thank you so much. This has been a wonderful topic. There are things in here that you have talked about. We need the support system when we are celebrating. We need it when we are struggling, when we're in challenging times. Thank you so much. You have done us well. Friends, I don't know if we have questions. This is a good time to ask the questions. But Uncle Bob, we are very, very grateful. In the chats, I see thank you, Uncle Bobs. I see claps. Ubuntu reminder, yes. Support systems help out. Request for the support. Don't assume people know. That was very key. Some people just be there saying, Kali, they are not seeing me. They should have helped me. He was there. He should have known. No, we don't know. We can't read minds. We are not God. So please tell us that you need help. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, Uncle Bob. There are so many reminders in there. Friends, do we have questions for Uncle Bob right now? Brothers Union, Sisters Union, some of you keep people's contacts like for 5 years, then you only remember them when you are going to wed. Please think about it. Maybe that is something that sometimes I also say, hey, this person has been in my contacts for 5 years, and the contact arrives when they're inviting you for a wedding meeting. It doesn't come out nicely. There should be moments where you also come in, especially you're preparing for these things. Come in, Uncle Bob is said he's having an acting last born. If Uncle Bob and Auntie Molen get a baby, that's the time where, because your wedding is coming soon, come in, go to the hospital, send flowers. So that by the time when you come to the wedding, you say, hey, even me in my moment, I was not wedding, but I got a defining moment. These guys were there. I think those are very important things. But thank you so much, Uncle Bob. I still can't see any questions in the chat. Yes, Auntie Molin, Kajambo for you somewhere in the chats. Somebody says the Kajambo to you. More thank yous, whoever, Uncle Bob, smiles, thanks. Any questions, friends? Dr. Ruth, I see you on the call. Welcome. Happy to hear your voice when you are able to, Dr. Ruth. Questions, friends, sent through the chats.
Thank you so much, David. I came as Bob was finishing. I'm so sorry. I've been in a board meeting and I couldn't leave. So I'm happy to be here, even if it's at the end. Bob, thank you so much. And God bless you all.
Welcome. You're welcome. Dr. Ruth, I will only tell you that you missed, but good enough, these things are recorded. Please get time to listen. Yeah, it was very wonderful session. Yeah, Uncle Bob, somebody is encouraging people to join home cells. It is a good way for you to be known. Some people attend the church from January to December, but people see you, but they don't know you. But in cell, at least people can get to know you, and you can you're even able to participate in certain things. So it is also a good thing. Yeah. So friends, I don't seem to see any more questions coming through. Otherwise, thank you so much for tuning in, all of you who have been able to. I believe and hope you have benefited from the talk. Go and begin working on your support systems. Go and begin implementing what has been told to us. We need support systems. Whether we want it or not, we need them.